5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on? This is the Highly Advised Podcast. I am here with my amigos and compadres. It is another late night, not usual recording time, but we are here once again. It is episode 55. How are you doing, my friends?
50.
How has your week been?
Week has been extraordinaire. It's been good. I had a good weekend. Shouts out to everybody that came through the Cozy Estates. So it was a good weekend. Great things happened. A lot of laughter, a lot of smiles, and I got richer. So, shouts out to everybody that I was kicking it with.
I hear that, man. Yeah, I've been pretty good, man. Mother's Day just passed like last week, so had a chance to catch up with family, some friends while I've been in town, X, Y, and Z. So all I can say is I'm blessed. Life's good. My water's always there. So what else can I say? It's 55.
55 weeks we've been here for y'all listeners, providing content. This is the best hip hop and MMA podcast that you will hear on the internet. Period.
In the universe.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I keep on forgetting. You said this last week.
Jeez, I gotta keep correcting you, man. Come on.
Hey, man.
In the universe. 55. When you did this 55 times, there's nobody else. We've never came across someone like us.
Where can they follow us?
Actually, if they want to follow us, they can actually check out the Instagram, which is the Highly Advised Podcast, or they can slide over to Twitter, which is Advised Highly. But if I get it, you might not want to just be on the socials. You want to just actually see us, right? And not just listen to the podcast. You want a visual? Check the YouTube. It's on YouTube. Highly Advised Podcast.
That's what I'll talk about.
Yeah, and I know y'all listen to the podcast. Y'all check the notes. You see where it's timestamps. We do you guys a favor. On the YouTube, you can actually get the segments of each thing. You ain't even gotta hit the timestamp. It's already there.
That's true.
It's waiting on you.
That's true.
Like in the Big Crit song where it was like with the soul food. It was like we've been here all day. We just waiting on you.
Yes, sir.
Come on, slide through.
Hey, and if you slide through, you got to pay a tax at the door because we're not letting you go. Because we about to put you and break you into the figure four. Like we.
I did not ghostwrite this for him, ladies and gentlemen.
He didn't ghostwrite nothing.
All right.
We'll talk more about that later in the podcast.
Yes, sir.
So, listeners, we have something coming up this week. Another UFC event. Chandler versus Charles Oliveira. It is a fight that I'm looking forward to personally. I think me and my friends would like to talk about it for a few minutes. Lau, what do you think?
All right, so here's what I think. The event started out looking very, very promising. You had Leon Edwards. Next, boom, Emmett Shabazian and Jack Hermanson got kicked off. But before they got kicked off the card, Leon Edwards and Nate Diaz got kicked off. And I think a lot of people were tuning in to this card for that one fight. And yeah, you capped it off with the main event of Oliveira Chandler. And you had a little, cherry on top with Ferguson and Dariush. Now with the two previously mentioned fights are like gone. Now you just have the main event and the Ferguson fight. And to me, it's kind of like a fight night card. It doesn't feel like big time. I must spend $70 to watch primetime fighting. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to watch it and stuff, but it just doesn't feel like a big card. Oliveira, he can win. Charles can win, right? His striking has vastly improved. His grappling is second to none right now at lightweight since Khabib has left, right? And he doesn't use a strong wrestling base, but we all know jiu-jitsu is his best and his strong suit. So he can win. He's not a slouch. He's not somebody that you can just look at him and be like, oh, he's going to get beat up in the first round. I just think that Michael Chandler, that knockout power, man. Not only he has that knockout power, the dude can also wrestle. And also, the dude isn't like a punch drunk dude where he's just blitzing for the knockout. He takes his time. everywhere this fight can go, I think he could outshine Oliveira even better. I think that once he hits Oliveira a few times, he's going to get him out of there. I'm predicting a second round TKO. I think Michael Chandler is going to put the dude away, and then he's probably going to call out Connor.
I think that Michael Chandler can put Charles Oliveira away in the first. I think he'll be too fast, and I think his stand-up is good enough to the point where he can beat him and just be fast enough to catch him and put him to sleep. I'm predicting a first-round knockout, pretty much for every reason that Lyle stated. I don't think that necessarily Charles Oliveira can't go in there and, stand a chance. The fight could definitely go into the third and the fourth, but I don't see you going past that for either fighter, if I'm being honest. It's going to be an interesting fight to look forward to, and, the main event is actually pretty cool this weekend.
Yeah, I kind of second what you both have said so far. Even though I think Charles Oliveira is like a pretty well-rounded fighter, and he's pretty much doing well within the division, I'm sorry, but like Michael Chandler, even in his first show out with the UFC, he came through and crushed the buildings to some extent, just like walking through competition, and he was already that guy within Bellator. So I do have him going as like I can see this going either first or second round TKO or knockout straight, because I think we all agree that this is Chandler's going to win this fight either within the first or second round. It won't go to decision. I think we all can agree to that. I'm interested to see who he would call out. Granted, if he calls out Conor, it's just a money fight. I mean, I think with just the antics of Conor McGregor right now, I don't really think he'd be deserving of a fight with Chandler after a title win, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see who he picks after this fight, but we still got to get through. We got 2 days until this fight actually comes about. So
it's funny when you say that. I have my thoughts, but I'm like, let's just get past 262 and then see what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you know how the MMA gods are, man. Like you'll sit here and say, oh, he's gonna win, and then next thing you know, for all we know, Charles Oliveira could get him in a submission within the first round and tap him out. Every fight is a wild card. So,
yeah, it's definitely possible, especially with Charles Oliveira.
Exactly. Like it's not like he's fighting a scrub at this point. Like
Nope. Correct.
You're putting him against the best competition you could find for the belt since Khabib has left. So it's very possible that this fight could go either way, but I think we're all siding with Chandler, especially after the performance we saw in his last fight, which was his premier debut with the UFC.
So do you think that the winner of Ferguson and Dariush could possibly be in a running for a title shot if they win their fight, which is a co-main event?
No. I think that Ferguson and Dariush winner, they're going to be punching up the ladder. It won't be a title shot next. The only way they'll get a title shot next if everybody catches COVID and cannot perform. And then it's next man up at that point. But no.
People like Tony, though. He's a fan favorite.
Yeah, Tony Ferguson. Unfortunately for him, even though he got dealt a very bad hand by the UFC, it's time for him, if he does win this fight, he's got to win a couple more, because it wasn't like he lost split decisions. No, he lost badly in both of his fights. He was getting beat the hell up. So he's got to win a couple more before he's back in that title conversation. And Dariush, who, if he wins, who I am also picking to win, people sleeping on Beneil Dariush. I'm picking him to win. That's my underdog pick. And I think if he wins, we're talking about pairing him up against hey, maybe he could get the loser of Oliveira and Chandler, or maybe he could get RDA, another, tough outing, Justin Gaethje, you know what I mean? Maybe he could get the loser of Connor and Poirier, give him a super big opportunity, which the UFC probably won't do. But I think it don't matter which man wins this fight. They're not getting a title shot next.
Well, no, I was going to say, I don't think either get a title fight after this. Similar to what I was saying, especially with I haven't kept up with Dariush as much, but I can say when it comes to Ferguson himself, it's not like he was on a good pace until last year when he came across Justin Gaethje, and after that it's been kind of downhill for him. So I think even in this case, it's kind of this is more of a fight more than likely that's more beneficial for Dariush, if anything. If he wins this fight, it opens him into the gate of more in a contention for the belt. But I just don't see Ferguson. I don't see in either one of these fighters getting the title fight next, especially if Conor versus Poirier and Conor wins that fight. We already know who's going to get the next fight after that. So
Yeah, I personally think that with Beneil Dariush, it's been a little interesting because he's finished a few of his last opponents and has actually been putting, some impressive finishes in a row. So I don't think he's really that far away from a title shot. Like Lau said, maybe one like more strong contender and then a title shot. But that being said, though, if Tony Ferguson were to win, I think he's put himself in a position, especially with his last two losses, that he can't just go to a title shot and he has to actually string together like not only would it have to be an impressive win this weekend, but maybe one or two more to possibly put him in there just because of the types of losses that he took. So me personally, I don't know. Now, one more thing that I almost forgot. Deigo Sanchez was supposed to be on the card and they had to cancel his fight. He's actually supposed to fight Donald Cerrone. Now, that was this card, correct?
I thought it was the card that just happened.
Oh, sorry, last
Saturday.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, why did they get rid of that? I'm sorry. I know I told the story last week, but why did that fight get canceled?
Well, remember Diego, he asked for it wasn't Diego himself, his trainer, as we're gonna just say for right now, asked for the medical records like 2 weeks before the fight or a week before the fight, which raised the red flags from the UFC brass, which, long story short, it resulted in him being released. But one thing that's not being talked about enough is Diego got his show, his win, and sponsorship money. So at least they didn't just kick him out the door with a foot in his ass. They, they gave him did the right thing. Right. It's just his coach on the other hand, man.
I actually saw the video where he was chasing around people with knives, and he said, everything is a knife, everything is a knife. And
hold on, tell me what?
Yeah, it's a video, and like I was just watching.
Deigo Sanchez,
his coach,
trainer.
Yeah. So yeah, he was just
Dojo.
And, well, funny enough, so last week you said that on the podcast, right? So McDojo Life, shout out to him. He had a video, and it had Deigo Sanchez upside down like Spider-Man, as Josh Fabio was just punching him in the head and kicking him in the side of the head. Like it looked very odd. Like, is that a training technique? You know what I mean? If so, what is it training? I need to know. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm ignorant to it.
This is the reason why he says he's in fear of his life. It's not because of the UFC. It's stuff like that is creating CTE more than likely. He needs to go get checked out. Like no trainer. That style of training is something that was only permissible 10 to 15 years ago. And even then, if you were doing something like that, they would say there's no way in the world you'll ever be a winner. You have bad training. He's been in this McDojo place, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't get a chance to. I didn't really watch the whole video because it was very bizarre. But because I know there was a video clip where he ended up expressing himself in terms of like his fears with the UFC and a lot of his concerns, as well as like seeing that weird clip with like him and his coach. It's just, I don't know. It's really weird. I think he needs to get help. I see more now why you guys are saying like, because I think last week I said he's a grown man, right? Either I said this on or off record. Like he's a grown man and like he's responsible for who he puts in his corner. But at this point, it's a little concerning. I think he needs to get help. He needs to get help. Someone needs to save him. I don't know if it's an old training partner, if it's an ex, kids, whoever. Someone needs to I don't even want to say that. Someone just needs to help him, long story short, because he's on a bad path.
Congratulations, Joshua. What was it? Fabia, whatever. You're the inaugural winner of the Oscar De La Hoya Award.
It's our highlight person of the week.
He is not the highlight of the week. He is the inaugural winner of the Oscar De La Hoya Award. And, listeners, you should know that's one of the most prestigious awards that you can give to bizarre idiots, dumb things, you know, just kind of like the guy who rode his bike when the train stopped. I laugh about this shit all the time. When the train stopped and he thought he could beat the train, so he crawls under the train with his bike and the train runs him over. I'll never.
Oh, I remember hearing
It's like,
about
why?
that.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
It's a wild situation.
it just made me think, like, you know, why would you ever do something like that? Just like Deigo Sanchez, like, obviously something happened between these two, but when you have Diego hanging upside down, who used to be professionally trained, you know, Diego was professionally trained by Greg Jackson down to Jackson Wink. He was around phenomenal fighters like John Jones. Hell, even the guy he was supposed to fight, Donald Cerrone, he used to train with him. To working with a guy who's the equivalent of some guy on the street trying to hustle you, letting him, you know, speed bag your head and kick you and shit like that while you're hanging upside down, it just goes to show, like, there's something wrong and there's something odd going on there, man.
There has to be.
And I hope Diego gets his help. I'm not even trying to be like funny or nothing. I hope Diego gets his help. I hope this Josh Fabia guy just goes off somewhere in obscurity somewhere, you know. And I hope that he can take a long look at himself in the mirror and realize what he's doing is, you know, it's dangerous. So I hope this Deigo Sanchez era ends on a good note, because it's really a shame, man. We should really be talking about, like, wow, this guy came from the Ultimate Fighter. He had some big fights. He had some good wins. What a career. Now we're talking about him and this guy that's, as Rashad Evans said, right? He's a parasite. So it's just kind of crazy, man. It's crazy.
It just shows how sometimes, like, it can take maybe like a few things and a few people to really like take you down a really deep turn. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate, you know. Shouts out to Deigo Sanchez, like, legend of the sport, and you know, hope that everything goes okay with him, because he does need help, because he needs to get away from that. That was crazy.
Yeah, definitely. So I that's one thing that does come to mind. How easily it can happen, where, because I think he was going through a divorce when he met his coach. So like, he got caught at a vulnerable time. So this really goes to show, like, you really got to protect your peace, even like at your most vulnerable times. Listeners, like, always protect yourself, because you never know. Like, these string of events happen, and now someone that was once pretty much from a legendary camp now is like he's looked at as like he's training in a McDojo, essentially. Complete opposite of what he once was. So it's kind of sad, but only thing you can do is hope that he gets help. Like, that's the only thing you can really say at this point. Like, I just hope he gets help. I know, similar to the help that was needed for Billy Joe Saunders after the fight with Canelo. I don't know if you guys heard, but I think the fight ended. Canelo and Saunders fought last week, and I believe Canelo won in the 9th round, or 8th or 9th round, I believe.
Yeah, 8th round.
Yeah. Did you guys get a chance to catch the fight?
I didn't see the fight, so you're gonna have to fill me in.
So I cut the highlights, and, you know, Canelo, in my opinion, I thought he was in control most of the fight, outside of a couple rounds of Billy Joe winning, whatever. But there's this thing in boxing called, like, swing rounds. So there would be some rounds where it's kind of competitive, where, you know, judge could swing one way and another or whatever. But I thought for the most part Canelo was in control. He looked like he was looking for the uppercut, and once it connected, you know, Billy Joe got fractured, and his corner was like, fuck that, you know, he can't fight no more. So shouts out to his corner, because I think that's a little underappreciated thing in boxing. Out of all the things I could say about boxing, all the, you know, grand corruption that it loves to do, one little glimmer of light of hope is the corner knows when to stop a fight. You know what I mean? Unlike MMA, but, you know, boxing corner, they do look out for the fight. So shouts out to his corner. Apparently that's a hard injury to come back from, orbital bone fracture for a boxer. So shouts out to Billy Joe. He was undefeated. He was a champion. So hopefully if he wants to continue his career, he's able to come back and continue it. Now for Canelo, good job to the pound for pound king. Caleb Plant is next. And once Canelo beats him, because we all know he's going to probably beat him, we're now looking at the unified world champion. And I have to applaud, I got to applaud boxing on that one. I got to applaud Eddie Hearn more specifically if he could get that done. Because as a sleaze slime bag as I guess he can be, he's doing something right. And it seems like he's trying to get the Anthony Joshua fight good too. But there's a corrupt guy named Bob Arum who's fucking up the fight. And I could go in a tangent about Bob Arum and all this other shit. But what I want to say is, for the sake of Canelo, shouts out to him. Great job, Canelo. You've retained your pound for pound status. Go ahead and get that fourth belt so you could continue to make a legacy. One thing I don't like about Canelo, and I'll stop talking about the guy, is it seems like he's stuck on that Floyd loss. And I'm like, damn, bro, you gotta let it go. Floyd will never fight you at 168. He won't even fight you at 160. You gotta come down. Period. I mean, he might not fight him, period, neither. But if there was a chance in hell for it to happen, you're coming down to Floyd's weight class, where he has the advantage. So,
and even then, most people realize Floyd caught Canelo at an early point in his career. So Floyd put the first loss on Canelo's record. And at the end of the day, I will say this, regardless if he caught him at the early points of his career, I think the fight with Floyd, that fight with Floyd, at the end of the day, it shaped Canelo's career.
It did.
Because
it did.
A lot of what he became as a fighter, you saw a lot of that happen. A lot of the movements, a lot of the slipping punches, the ways of just being able to be in the pocket, it came from that Floyd fight. So he more or less, like they always say, when someone puts on a clinic, Floyd put on a clinic when they fought, and I believe it was 2016, 2015. So anytime you're in a clinic, you go to school. And that's exactly what Floyd did to him then. So it's I understand of course that's going to be because I think that's his only loss on his record.
Yeah, it
is. Any champion spirit, you want to avenge that loss, but especially when you see the fighter still being active, quote unquote, and we'll get to that later. I had Canelo winning the majority of the fight. There were some rounds where I can see you giving it to Saunders. Some rounds Canelo was taking a back seat on, but once he ended up catching Saunders a couple times, it kind of was evident okay, some people are thinking, okay, he's taking a backseat. He's not going to get this. He might actually have a chance of losing the fight, because when you get into that round 4 to 7, these are those significant rounds where either if you don't have a second gear, another gear to go into in the 7th round, it's kind of it's pretty much the tail of the tape is already there at that point. The writing's on the wall. So the orbital bone injury, shout outs to his corner, because at the end of the day, they could have tried to say hey, we'll let you go, because even I don't know if you guys realize, but Canelo, he was walking back to his corner like he had already won the fight before Saunders' camp had actually stopped the fight. So
maybe he saw something.
Yeah, I'm quite sure he felt it. He broke his orbital bone. So and at some point you could see where a lot of things that Saunders was doing, he was grabbing. It was a lot of grabbing. There was a lot of I think he realized that the uppercut would come, so he was trying to cut that distance. So he wouldn't, when he's ducking low, he would cut that distance by hugging him. So, it's hopefully Saunders is able to come back and bounce back from that. And hopefully, shout outs to Canelo for another great win and actually fighting real competition this time. He'll go off to fight whoever to unify this belt, and then after that we'll be off to the races into this next chapter of his life. In the meantime, it's still going to burn this hole in his heart that he lost to Floyd, especially when we're seeing now Floyd is he's supposed to be fighting Logan Paul in the next couple of weeks, but there was a nice little brawl that kind of boiled over between him and Jake Paul. I believe last week. I think Lau actually has the hat that Jake Paul took.
Oh man. Oh my God. If I were to have the hat, man, it's man, fuck Jake Paul. I was hoping that the dude was gonna get punched on a lot more than what he did. And for real, I like this dude he's just a corny dude, bro. He's cringy, he's corny. He's like acting like a middle school kid. I got your hat. Like that shit is just so corny to me, bro. And if anything, he took all the shine away from Logan, and now nobody. I mean, people are going to tune in because they want Floyd to do his thing, but people really wish it was Jake Paul. You know what I mean? They really wish it Jake Paul. Now Jake Paul, one thing I will give Jake Paul credit, even though he's an asshole. Even before the boxer thing, he was still an asshole. He scammed his way into a fight with Floyd down the road because Floyd came out and said, "Hey, I won't fight them on the same night, but I am open to fighting Jake." So he scammed it. He learned from the best, and the best person he learned from was fucking Floyd, because Floyd knows how to fucking work a pay-per-view, work people to fucking buy.
And you know he was in on it.
Yeah, he was in on it. I mean, like
Floyd.
Yeah, Floyd.
I don't think Floyd was in on that.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was, man. Come on. You think he just got snatched his hat like that, you know, and he didn't think he didn't know about it? Listen,
I'll say this as a fan of boxing, as a fan of Floyd Mayweather, I've watched in the past decade, especially. I had a chance to actually watch all of Floyd's fights as they were happening, right after high school. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I've never seen Floyd get into that space. I did think it was fake at first, but
it's an act. It's an act. He knows how to sell himself. He's very good at it.
So let me ask you this, right? If that would be the case, what would be the benefit of him pulling an act like that with the person he's not fighting?
For another fight, so he can keep on making money.
Yeah.
You think I think that would easily happen either way.
Okay, but how do you make it better? How do you make more money off of it?
But it totally overshadows the fight that he has now.
And
he has.
Okay, exactly.
But if it overshadows the fight he has coming up, right?
Okay.
It automatically it dwindles the numbers. Let's be honest.
No, you make money either way.
Listen, at the end of the day, when it comes to Floyd Mayweather, right? He knows how to sell a show. He knows how to sell a fight. But if he's selling a fight, it's no problem thinking of the fight that's coming after this one, right? But he's going to try to sell this fight. No one gives a damn about watching him and Logan Paul fight now. At this point,
that's not true.
That's not true.
It's not true.
Floyd,
either brother they'll take.
Either brother they'll take, but at the end of the day, we just saw a confrontation between the brother of the person that's fighting Floyd and Floyd Mayweather. At the end of the day, we want to see that fight. I agree there. That sells the fight. But at the same time, it doesn't help sell the fight between Logan Paul and Floyd at the end of the day. It really doesn't.
So I think it does. And the reason why I say it does is because, one, people who are ignorant to the whole Paul brother, debacle, because that's what it is. Sometimes people are confused on who's Logan and who's Jake. So some people think like, oh, he's fighting Jake instead of fighting Logan. So you'll have those people tune in. Two, the people who are aware of this, debacle of the Paul brothers, they're going to be like, hey, I know he's not fighting Jake, but I want to see him kill Logan and then call out Jake. So the fight is not about Logan. This is all about Floyd now. So it's Floyd made it about himself. Jake learned from Floyd and they made it about them. But the teaser to the fight that people want to see,
Logan.
This is the teaser. Floyd runs through Logan. Now Floyd is going to get Jake, and it's so fantastic how they could sell this to people, right? Listeners, we love combat sports. I can't talk for my amigos here. I'm not buying either fucking fight. I'm not. So if they buy it, shame on fucking them, and listeners, shame on fucking you. It's a scam fight. You already know
It is.
because it's ridiculous. No fucking person who's never boxed all the way until their early 20s should be boxing arguably the greatest boxer of all fucking time. It's nonsense. It's fucking bullshit. There's no way. The reason why people would tune into that shit is just to see Floyd beat them the fuck up. That's it. It's not for some competitive level boxing. And that's fucking junk. And the people entertaining that shit is the people who don't fucking watch fights. And I get it. That's why that's who Floyd is gearing to, and that's what he's da. But people who have common sense and they're aware, they know that it's garbage. It's junk. So I'm not amused by it. I don't like it. It's stupid. Yeah, it makes good entertainment, so I understand it. But I won't be spending my money on it. I will be streaming that motherfucker, and I don't care. And I won't. And guess what? I won't be streaming it from my shit, so I won't be doing nothing illegal. But I'll be going somewhere where somebody else probably be doing it. So shouts out to whoever that somebody is.
Straight up, Nigel.
That's crazy. Straight up, Nigel. That's wild.
Nah, that's a fact. Like, I mean, I get where you guys are coming from. I just don't agree. I do think, like, to me, I just always know, understanding the sport and understanding how people sell fights, I just see it where I would expect that engagement would have came from Floyd and Logan. That if that engagement happened between Floyd and Logan, I would have totally said this was totally scripted. They had a whole phone conversation before this happened, X, Y, and Z. But I mean, I think Floyd is smart enough to know when a fight is to be sold. But I definitely know that. I definitely can agree to that. But I don't know. I think it's one of those weird things where I don't know. I could care less about Floyd fighting Logan Paul at this point, and I only want to see him fight Jake Paul, just because of like the antics. I will be honest, I'm not paying for it.
Y'all can all come and watch it at my place, man. It's cool.
I mean,
I'm not gonna stream it illegally, listeners.
We know you're Pirate Bay on the streets.
Don't let them. I do nothing illegal ever. I am a law-abiding citizen. I don't condone in those type of things,
man. They call you Pirate Bay on the streets.
They don't call me that. People know I'm that. People know I'm the MMA guy. I like MMA. I like all types of sports. MMA, team sports like the NFL. Shout out to the Steelers. You know what I mean?
Big fan of LimeWire.
Nah. I do none of that. Okay, not over here.
Who you thought was giving courses about tethering with BearShare and LimeWire? You.
Nah, I was sitting here watching Ben Roethlisberger play, or all the Steelers, really.
I hear you, man. It sounds good. You can't fool me, man. That's all I can say.
Well, what I can say is that I also saw J. Cole sign to the Rwandan team and is playing in one of the African leagues soon. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's 12 games, a 12-team series, I believe, starting next week or like in the next coming weeks. It'd be interesting to see, definitely with Cole being like 36, how well that'll work for him in terms of just playing. Like, granted, we all know Cole played basketball in high school, and I think he played basketball a little bit in college, or he was trying to, because I know that's the whole theme of his whole career has always been the basketball theme of sideline story to now we have off season that comes out tomorrow. But yeah, I'm curious to see how that works for him, especially with like this album coming out tomorrow, and as well as like the album coming out and then trying to like the hype that'll be garnered around that while he's playing in a basketball league. So it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think it's super dope he's doing it. If for nothing else, he's really giving a lot of shine to that league that he's playing in, because putting the album out and also having that announcement in the same week is just bringing all types of eyes to them. So like, I mean, definitely shouts out to him for that. And I think that's kind of dope. I asked my friend today as to how much points he thought that J. Cole put up in his first game. He said 16.
That's I
I
thought you were
think
going to
it's,
say 60.
no. I think 16 is a fair enough, score range, but I'm curious to see how he does. I want to see how he actually is in, some type of league. I think it's like super dope to see, especially like somebody we know is primarily a rapper do that. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he has a basketball shoe though.
Yeah, that's cool.
So like he's probably been gearing up for this for a minute. I'm quite sure because he has a basketball shoot through Puma, I believe.
Shouts out to J. Cole, man. But shouts out to that African League. It's good that the motherland got a basketball league that's going to get notoriety and a little bit of fame. So shouts out to that too, because when you think of Africa when it comes to sports, a lot of people just think of like, soccer or some shit like that, or some other European special sports like cricket and polo and rugby, et cetera, et cetera. Nobody's thinking of basketball in the country of the continent of Africa. So I think that this is the first basketball format from Africa that's going to appeal to the American audience, especially when you have somebody like J. Cole. And there's some damn good African basketball players. Like, for example, one of the more popular players in the league today, Joel Embiid. Can't forget about Pascal Siakam. You know what I'm saying? Or Bowles, him
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, shouts out to the motherland. Shouts out to all my brethren.
facts.
Africa, we here. We here.
Nah,
So shouts out to J. Cole for that one, for real.
this is even better. I think it makes it even sweeter as his album is about to be released because last week he did drop the interlude, which ended up catching a lot of steam by a lot of people. Definitely, there was some quotables from what I've heard. Well, from what I've seen on my timeline. So I think this is kind of like a big thing in terms of like the steps towards how he's promoting his album as well as like promoting his album while also being able to be free within himself.
If you were to rate the song, what would you give it? 3 out of 5?
I only listened to it once. I'll say like 4.
Oh, it's like that.
Yeah, I mean, I only listened to it once. It didn't sound bad. It sounded like it was pretty good. I didn't really want to get myself too wrapped up in the song because when it's certain artists, I really want to listen to it as a whole. So
I haven't listened to it yet, so that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, overall though, it's a good song though. I will say that. Like one thing I did see on my timeline a lot was about where he said Jesus died at 33, so did Pimp C and so did Nipsey. So that's a really big quotable from that song from what I've seen on my timeline.
It's dope too.
Yeah.
What are you about to say,
we were just talking about Pimp C the other day too, I think.
Shouts out to J. Cole, man.
Oh, he didn't listen to it. So
No, I did. No, I listened to the interlude.
Okay, so what do you think?
I liked it. It sounded like what it was, an interlude, because the song abruptly ends at the end. And I'm assuming the song plays a bigger part, it plays a part in the album. So that's why it ended the way that it did. I think it was a good song, but I have nothing more to say about it. I'm really looking forward to the album. I like J. Cole. I think J. Cole is Mount Rushmore material.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm curious to listen to that. I did get a chance to listen to Isaiah Rashad's new song with Deuce. And first of all, riding in the Chevy, like that's a instrumental that I like. I actually wrote to that song, like a little rap to that. It's like that, that old 3-6 shit. Like I like that. You know what I mean? So like I fuck with that song. I think it's super dope. Like just to hear that and the way they rapped on it was very nice. I like it when TDE and Kesey show each other love. I think that's super dope as well. And you should listen to that.
Yes, sir. I thought that was a dope song too. And I'm not a Isaiah Rashad enthusiastic person. So when I saw it, I was like, I'm gonna give it a chance because it came out with a bunch of singles. I listened to it. And I was like, oh, I'll fuck with this. I like the old school, obscure 3-6 Mafia sample. You know what I mean? And it felt like Deuce fit as a feature because I felt like that's in his realm of music. So shouts out to Isaiah Rashad. And now you got me interested in listening to your album when it drops.
Yeah, the big shout outs to Isaiah Rashad. I heard this song also, really good song. The thing that I was so surprised, the most surprised about with that song was actually the direction that he went in compared to some of his other work. But granted, his last body of work was what 5-6 years ago.
It's true.
Yeah, so it was pretty interesting hearing it. I'm curious to see what happens moving forward because I'm a big Isaiah Rashad fan from Sons of Tirade to Sylvia's Demo. So
All
it's
dope.
yeah, like I feel like he's one of those artists that always hits, no misses. So it's just I think the biggest issue for him though was that he's always struggled with like addiction. So he's because of his addiction problem, he is the reason why he's always been like absent for like a set amount of years. Because I think even but there was a decent amount of gap between Sun's Tirade and Sylvia's Demo as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it all just comes from his thing. But like, because in the article he actually said something about where he deals with a lot of addiction. So he's dealt with like addiction with drugs and alcohol. And I know there was at some point, I think this was during Sun's Tirade, he said Top Dog made the decision like, yo, I'm not going to send you home and cut you from the label, but I think he did send him back home for a little bit. He did say something about he stayed with his mom and was sleeping on couches and all of this type of stuff in between like now and then. So it's good to see him bounce back to his feet. And yeah, I think there's just some more great music to come. I think we'll just have to wait and see when it comes to more from Isaiah Rashad. And shout outs to Duke Deuce also.
Yeah, man.
I think he's underrated as well.
I think QC is going to catch one with Duke Deuce. I keep on saying that the loud. Like I really think they're going to catch another one with him, like a big one too. And I'm looking forward to that. And like you said, big fan of Isaiah Rashad. I'm really looking forward to his album. Like I think that's going to be in our top 10 for sure when we end up doing a list, probably in the top 5. Like because I think it's going to be. I have high hopes for that album.
Yeah, it could have potential. We just have to wait and see because like, I mean, there's more music that came out this week, but there's also potentially the Mount Rushmore of music, of rap music for the most part, will all possibly be releasing this year.
Oh, okay.
So it's gonna be it's not gonna be a lightweight bout. This is a heavyweight bout in terms of years of music. So hopefully he's able to carry his own though. I will say that.
Did you guys tune into the Don Toliver song? That was another song that some people were talking about. I tuned into it. I liked it. I thought it was a cool song. It reminded me of something I would hear in a club. I don't think it was good as the Isaiah Rashad song, but it was a cool song though.
I heard it. Shouts out to Amir, Stay Superior. He recommended Don Toliver to me a year or two ago. And I like Don Toliver. I like this song. You know what I mean? I thought it was dope. I actually really like his music, and if he's putting out a project, I'm excited for that as well.
Yeah, I'm not really a big Don Toliver fan. I've never really gotten it. I'll say this. Let me not say a big fan, but I've never taken the time to get into his music as much. So I don't really have I don't have really a foundation to base an opinion on from what I've heard compared to what he's done before. But I can say I did like the song that I did hear, What You Need. It wasn't better than Isaiah Rashad because I kind of just listened to all these songs back to back. I will say this, though. It was a super dope visual, similar to the Lay Wit Ya by Isaiah Rashad as well. And so I can say it piqued my interest enough that I'll be willing to listen to his album when it drops.
I know what song Spence didn't listen to.
Surprisingly.
You did?
Oh man! So what
you
think?
listened?
I got it. Hold on. Let him speak.
Okay.
I listened to it for podcast purposes only.
Okay.
And I will say this, listeners, you probably trying to guess what song this possibly could be. If you've been a fan, if you've been around for a while, I'm not a big fan of the what? Not a fan of it. Said his last album was trash. Playboi Carti and Trippie Redd, they did a song called Miss the Rage. It was actually pretty good. I was actually surprised. It's not. It's something I will play. I can definitely say that. That song, I will say this, made me ready to be back outside. It gave me the festival vibes. So I can say that it's like a concert festival vibe type of song. So I tip my hat to Playboi Carti and Trippie Redd on that one, and that's all of the compliments you'll get.
Wow. Wow. Hey, man. Dogecoin going $200. Fuck Elon Musk. This shit going $200 now, man. Oh shit. Spence just made the price go up, man. I never thought in a million years I would hear him compliment Playboi Carti.
I'm objective.
I thought he was gonna be like, no, never. I'm a Rudy Poo candy ass, and I'll never listen to you.
Calling yourself a Rudy Poo candy ass. That's wild.
But
you see the type of see how I get treated here, listeners.
But yeah, so Mr. Rage, I listened to it, and I think the best song that came out last weekend was "Lay With You," and I think that and it's kind of interesting that I actually agree with you guys that "Lay With You" is the best song.
Yep.
But Mr. Rage was, to me, it was a dope song. It does remind me of when you go out, you with your boys, and you guys have a good time. You dancing, partying, whatever, carnival, whatever. So shouts out to them, because I think that song is that's its purpose. We're not supposed to get lyrical, miracle, spiritual out of that. So, yep. Shouts out to the SoundCloud King and one of his sons.
I liked it, man. I listened to it earlier. I was making some salmon and some cream spinach, and I was just like, oh, I fuck with this. Like, I thought it was dope, and I'm not. Look,
salmon and cream spinach.
That's what I want. That's what I wanted for dinner.
What type of music? That's not the type of music I listen to when I'm eating that. It's like, you're supposed to listen to something that's sultry. You're listening to.
That's what I was thinking, man.
I'm thinking you about to say that sounds like something you should be like drinking beer or something. Too.
Yeah.
Or eating ribs too. Not I had some cream spinach with the couscous on the side and spinach and some salmon, some baked salmon to die for.
Nah, I put it in the air fryer. Yeah, let me tell you, man, the air fryer. I'm not gonna lie, I fuck with it with the salmon, man.
Really.
Man, like I'm telling you, it's actually like the shit. But I was making the cream spinach and the salmon, and I listened to that song and the other songs. Yes, I like Isaiah Rashad the most, but I'm not the biggest fan of Trippie Redd. You can call me a Trippie Redd hater. That's cool. That's fine.
The equivalent to Spence of Playboi Carti.
Yes.
Okay.
But this song I actually enjoy. And I like Playboi Carti's part. I'm not going to lie. Like, he's really grown on me. I was at one point a Playboi Carti hater. I no longer am. And this song would make me listen to more Trippie Redd songs. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean,
wow, man.
Yeah.
Dose up $2,000 now.
Dose of the moon, man.
Who knows? Maybe next week I might be like, yo, you know what the greatest rap group of all time is? Tribe Called Quest. Wow. That'd be crazy.
I'm retiring tomorrow. That's it.
It's like I think everything has been fulfilled here at this point. I know outside of that, though, I know there is some more music that's supposed to be dropping. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see, but Nicki Minaj, she actually posted something on Instagram, one of these cryptic posts that just said she picture herself, and then it's Friday as the caption. So who knows what that means? But more than likely, the way the barbs have flipped Twitter upside down in my timeline, more than likely it means Nicki's coming with something, which actually is tomorrow. So, I mean, I don't really know what more to say. I mean, she is like, I'll put it like this: if someone put her on their Mount Rushmore, I totally will understand.
She's there.
She deserves the right to be there. Like, I may not agree personally by preference, but she deserves every right to be there. I mean, I feel like Lau has something to say.
Go ahead.
What the fuck?
He's preparing.
No. I'm just sitting there chilling. I'm listening to what you have to say. You guys are praising your queen, and shouts out to the people that you praise and idolize.
Carti's the queen. Man.
So you don't agree? You don't put her under?
I didn't say that.
I mean, do you?
What, put her on my Mount Rushmore of rappers?
For like women rappers.
Oh no, just no. No. I with Nicki, I can't even do like a woman rapper thing. To me, Nicki is a rapper. She's not.
Oh, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, I mean, let's be. I mean, if we're gonna be honest, if we're gonna be honest, we got to be real.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Listen, man, Nicki.
Hold on.
I'm not saying
now I gotta intervene. You're saying Nicki Minaj is on the Mount Rushmore of rap
of all time,
male or female.
When I say this, right, I'm basing it off of the Mount Rushmore that we saw from in the last decade, where you had the Kendrick Cole and Cole and Drake, right?
You mean modern day is what you're saying?
Yeah, modern day.
Oh, okay.
Modern day, yeah. But I'm not gonna lie to you.
All right.
I'll be honest with you. If we're gonna be real for real, I'm not no Barb or none of that shit. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a Barb, none of that. When it comes to her rapping ability, lyrically, she's a very great rapper. Lyrically speaking,
she's a good rapper. Excluding Starships and all the shit beyond that song. Excluding that, when she's doing that, I think of Nicki Minaj, and maybe some people are going to disagree because you have some stands out there. I do think she's the greatest female rapper of all time.
I agree.
Hands down.
Who else?
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna put her on the Mount Rushmore along with the Drakes, Coles, Kendricks,
a modern day, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because when I guess to me, when we start saying like out of all female rappers, it becomes a little dicey because now we're saying you're putting her above the Lauryn Hills, the Queen Latifahs, all of them. You're putting her above all of them.
Yeah, yes, and I'm gonna tell you why. In their era of rap music, you want to put none of those lovely ladies on the Mount Rushmores of their era. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. If they came out today, I'm not saying that they would be bad artists, because obviously that they're not. It's just that they wouldn't be doing what Nicki Minaj has done. I mean, granted, there's some criticism to her, right? But like, name one rapper. I mean, you could probably name like 2 or 3, but she's in a class where she's had a 10-year run without any competition. And it's not because there wasn't other female rappers. There was nobody nowhere near as good as her. Until
Cardi.
Until Cardi B. But Cardi B, we all know. And lyrically, Cardi B is not better than Nicki Minaj. We know that for a fact.
That's agreed.
Yeah, we know that for a fact. Now, we could be like, oh, Cardi B makes better music and all that. Like, for example, the I Like It Like That, blah, blah, blah. Cool. That's, at that point, it's subjective, to what kind of music you like. But when it comes to just rapping ability, she is the best female rapper of all time. And I know there's going to be some Lil' Kim people, or like Spence, you mentioned like Queen Latifah and all that, which they're also legends in the rap game. I just think Nicki Minaj, when it comes to the female rapper, she's up there. Now, when we're talking about top 10 rappers of all time, she could be argued that she's in the top 10 somewhere. Will she be up number 1? No. But if somewhere in the top 10, depending on who you are and what kind of music that you like, I wouldn't be mad if somebody put Nicki in there. Nicki Minaj is a good rapper. I just think with all the drama and the controversy that was around her and all that shit like that, and her diehard fans that are toxic, kind of put a little stain. No, they're fucking toxic. They are. They're willing to, drive all the way to Vermont.
I mean, you saw what they did for Meek's birthday. They literally were.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I think Meek. It was because it was Meek's birthday, and you saw subtweets saying like, "Oh, I hope today is the worst day of your life." Like, those are only barbs that say that. But
I'd have been like, "Thank you."
So, Lyle, let me ask you a question. Do you think Nicki Minaj is lyrically better than like a rapper like, say, Rhapsody?
This isn't even a conversation.
I mean, he said lyrically the best rapper of all time. I said she's the best. I mean, whole package.
The whole package, yes. That's kind of hard because Rhapsody, she's a lyrical rapper, like
She's a
really
great
lyrical.
rapper.
She's a female.
She's a great rapper.
But overall package, Nicki is definitely better.
Of course.
But if we're talking about like bar for bar for bar for bar, it's kind of hard now. That's hard.
It's Rhapsody.
No, and I'm gonna tell
in
you
my
why.
Opinion.
I'm gonna tell you why. There's people that think Kendrick is like the greatest rapper of all time, or Eminem is the greatest rapper of all time because they're like, you know, they could rhyme mouse with 300 different ways to rhyme mouse with. Why some people are like, nah, it's people like Jay-Z or whatever like that because of the shit that he's talking about and the overall package, kind of like the Drake and Kendrick debate, right? People love Drake because they think he makes fantastic music. He's very versatile. But people are like, oh, well, Kendrick, he could rap his fucking ass off or whatever like that. So it's kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I see it. Like, I feel like Nicki Minaj, when she's rapping, she's talking to you. So you can understand what she's saying. She'd be saying some witty shit. You're cool. Well, Rhapsody, she's rapping and shit like that, but she might be like lyrical, miracle, spiritual type shit. And motherfuckers might be like,
yo, you're not slick.
No, and motherfuckers be like, oh, she's just saying shit to rhyme. For real, I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
Just say that's your opinion, yo. You don't have
no.
I didn't have to hide behind the shadows of others, man.
I'm not. Yo, come on. I could take the shit on the chin, and I look forward to it, man. I love, you know, being a heel, being against whatever. It's just I would choose. I put it like this. Hey, Lyle, listen to Rhapsody's album. Listen to Nicki Minaj. All right, I guess I'm gonna pop in Nicki.
I think I'm still gonna go Rhapsody, if I'm being honest.
Hey, shouts out to you. And it's different strokes for different folks.
That's true.
That's what Donald said about Fabia and Diego.
Oh wow. Oh my god.
Wow, that's a little
more things I gotta cut. More things I gotta cut.
Now leave it in there.
Wow.
I didn't say anything wrong. Different strokes for different folks. Some people like certain things.
I hear you.
Yeah, you like certain. So what was wrong about it?
I didn't say anything.
And personally to me, I think I would like to listen to Rhapsody's album more than the Nicki Minaj one. Personally, I mean, I'll put it like this. I think Nicki deserves her space and place within a top. I don't know. I'm starting to feel a different way about like this whole top 10 thing. Yo, I'll say this. In the top 20, she deserves to be in the top 20, right?
Why not top 10?
Because I'll be honest with you, I think even some of the artists that we held to be in the top 10, I don't know if they really are like high in that top 10.
It's unanimous. Jay-Z's in there. It's unanimous that Nas is in there. So what? So I mean, like, what are you saying? She can't be 9 or 10?
Top.
It's 20. Possible. It's possible.
It's top 20 because to me it's so many. Because if we're talking about the commercially successful artists, yes, top 10. But if we're talking about like just the best rappers of like since the beginning of rap music,
oh no,
if we're going over the span of the past 30 years of rappers that have
that's a lot of rappers, man.
Yeah,
that's a lot of rappers.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. A top 20. If we're saying top 20,
if we're talking about that, I don't even know if she fits in there because that's so many damn rappers.
But that's what we're talking. When we say top 10, that's what. When you're saying top 10 are all rappers, that's what you're saying though.
Right. But so in defense to her, and I'm not even no Nicki Minaj fan. Like I'm not going to argue with no motherfucking bar. Why is it such as like, oh man, I got to scratch my head and pick my nose to think if she could really be in top 10, but motherfuckers are quick to put Kendrick or Drake in there. And that's my thing. Like that. Why is it like that? Like it's kind of like discrediting her dominance and like the things that she has done. No other female artist in the modern era has done what she's done. So when you're saying Rhapsody and shit like that, shouts out to you because you have the right to like her music or whatever and enjoy her music more than Nicki. But to be like, oh, she's just a better overall rapper than Nicki was and all that. Now I'm kind of like, you're discrediting all that hard work that she has earned. And like, if you could throw Drake and Kendrick in there, why can't you throw Nicki in there? You know, it's not like we're talking about. It's not like we're talking about Tyga or Soulja Boy. You know what I mean? Like,
I get what you're saying. And listen, I totally understand what you're saying. I think for me, my thing is this: even like when it comes to like a Kendrick and Drake and all of them, Kendrick, Drake, J. Cole, like they're not top 5 to me. If they are in the top 10 to me of like all over the past 30 years of rappers, they're like 7, 8, and 9, right? So to me, like me putting Nicki above them, I don't see me doing that. I don't see me putting Nicki above. Like if we're just talking like a lyric from it, if we're talking from a lyrical standpoint, no. And
so hold on, wait. You're saying that overall package Drake is 7, 8, or 9?
I'm talking just rappers in general. So I'm talking about like to me, like if we're talking about, no, I'm not talking about overall package because because to me, I'll be honest with you, Drake doesn't go before Pun. Like if we're talking about rappers, like Drake doesn't.
That's
go
a different conversation.
Yeah. But to me, but that's what I'm saying. When you say top 10 rappers, right? We're just saying top 10 rappers. So to me, my definition of a top 10 rapper, Lupe is going to be above Nicki Minaj. If we're talking about rappers that are lyrically inclined, and she can compete.
Female listeners, they're not gonna like that.
That's fine.
No, but that's the truth though.
They're gonna send you hate crime. Hey, you ain't getting none of this no more, Spence.
That's fine. I don't deal with words, so that's totally fine. So would you say you would put her over Black Thought, who's a lyrical rapper?
No.
Would you put her over Eminem? Would you put her over Jay-Z? Would you put her over Nas? Would you put her over Pun?
No.
Would you put her over Snoop Dogg? Like,
well, I'm not saying he would do anything. He's saying the argument could be made.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
That she could be in there.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why when he asked the question, when he posed the question of how can these guys be put in here and I'm not putting her there, right? Even those guys,
that's a fair point. Yeah, that's a fair point.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. But that's what I'm saying. When I'm talking rappers, like even Drake, if he's there, he's probably top 20. If we're talking just lyrical rappers, he's probably 9 at the most. He might be 9 and it might be 9 and 10. Might be him and J. Cole. But Kendrick Lamar, he deserves a spot.
Okay, but pretty much what you're doing right now is what somebody could do for Nicki Minaj, and that's what Lau's point is. That's it. That's
totally fine. I just personally, and that becomes a preference thing. Like to me,
exactly.
And at the end of the day, I'll be honest. Like she's a top 20. If we're talking top MCs of all time, she's a top 20 MC. But she's not like there's no way I can just say like all the rappers I listen to from age. I started listening to rap music at 3, all the way until I was damn near 20. From 3 to 20, from the age of 3 all the way up to 20, then comes Nicki Minaj, and she just trumps the majority of anything I've listened to prior. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. But if we're talking commercial package, yes, she deserves to be there. I'll give you that because she's held the torch. She's the highest level that you can get not even just as a female MC, just as an MC, as a rapper, period. She's lyrically inclined. I've always said that about Nicki Minaj. I'll give her flowers on that. But when it's just like, even then there's like this, whatever. I'm not even gonna get into it because I don't feel like getting slandered by the box. But
I got one quick question.
What's up?
One word answer. Who are you picking to listen to? Nicki or Carti? Don't give an explanation. One word answer.
Yeah. Who?
Plead the fifth.
No, come on, bro. Don't do that. Be entertaining.
I'm gonna say Carti. That's just me. That's just me.
Yeah.
Shouts out to both of them. We just shouted out how great Nicki was.
That's cool. That's cool.
I said it.
I'll put it like this, right? If it's between them two, I'll say Nicki, because at the end of the day, no matter, Carti's a new artist, X, Y, and Z. Nicki's been around for damn near 15 years, and it is that says enough. I'll put it like this: the woman was one of the biggest artists with no album out for like 5 years.
You're just afraid of the
enjoy-
bars, man.
Who do you enjoy? Who do you
So
enjoy
are
listening
you really
to?
Are you really gonna put Cardi B over Nicki Minaj?
Who do you enjoy listening to?
No, hold
more?
on, Lyle. I'm
Okay.
talking to this guy. So
All
you're really
right.
gonna put Nicki? You're gonna put Nicki? So you would put Cardi B over Nicki Minaj?
I understand your anger. I never said
No,
that.
I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question.
No, I'm not. I never said that. I just said I listened to Cardi B. That's all I said. Hold on, wait, Lau, what'd you ask?
I said, who do you enjoy listening to more? That's all I said. Who do you enjoy listening to more? We know Nicki Minaj is the better rapper.
Nicki. I'll say Nicki.
Oh, okay.
Me, Cardi.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll say Nicki over if it's between the two. Anyway.
Who do you like listening to more, Lil Baby or Lil Durk?
Ooh, Durk.
Okay,
Durk, yo, man.
I gotta go, Baby.
Yeah, it's
Lil Baby, man.
It's
Lil Baby's in rare form too. He's been in rare form for a minute.
That's why they're about to get together and collab.
Yeah, the voice of the heroes, man.
I know you're looking forward to it. You know,
Oh yeah,
that's
absolutely.
your boy.
Absolutely.
So
Listen,
who's the hero?
the hero is Baby. Dirk is the voice.
Okay.
Chicago Jay-Z, man.
Is he the Chicago
Okay.
Jay-Z?
That's why.
He self-proclaims himself that. That's not me saying that. That's what he goes by. The
Is there a
same way-
reason why he says that, or does he just say it? Or
He says he's the Chicago Jay-Z. Listen, man. Listen. The same way Lil Wayne used to say he was the greatest rapper of all time, and when no one was saying it, and then we all said he was the greatest rapper of all time.
I thought you were saying that he was the best rapper alive.
Yeah, he was saying that.
Yeah.
That's the best rapper retired,
Exactly.
and then came back.
Exactly. And now we have the Chicago Jay-Z and
Yes.
and the hero, aka Lil Baby, dropping
hero.
dropping a collab project May 28th for sneak previewing a collab project. So I'm interested to see it. Durk has been on a hot streak lately, especially in the past year. Really going up.
Shouts out to Drake.
I mean, it has nothing to do with just Drake.
Shouts out to Drake.
The slander. But yeah, so I'm curious to see how that project's going to be. I know I will be listening to it, definitely.
What I'll say is that like the song on the Khaled album doesn't really have me overly excited. I'm not really the biggest fan of that song like that, but I do want to hear it because I'm curious to hear what their music together sounds like for a full project. I'm sure there's going to be more than a couple songs on there that I'll enjoy, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I mean, like I said, Lil Baby's been in rare form. You heard how he was going on the Drake feature. So
Yeah, he was going in.
Exactly. So like, he's been in rare form now, as well as Durk. Durk has been in rare form for a minute now, definitely with just dropping music every week. It seems like a new feature every week. I think this week is turkey bag season. So listen, man, Durk has been on a roll. Lil Baby's on a roll. So I can't wait to hear what they have to come on the 28th of May. So.
Hey man, shouts out to OTF 300. You know what I mean? Shouts out to GBE. Shouts out to everybody.
Yeah. Speaking of the Chicago Jay-Z, right? Did you guys see read an interview with Jay-Z where he brought up how he regrets the lyrics of Big Pimpin'?
So I saw that, and apparently that was like quoted from some really old interview or something like that, right? From Rolling Stone or something like that.
I'm not sure. I just read. I just saw something about it. It just caught my attention on the fly.
Here's my thing, right? So Jay-Z's been making music for a long time. Like, are we really surprised that there's not a lyric he's wrote that he regretted, even if it wasn't Big Pimpin'? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you have a record of yourself, I'm sure you said something that you regretted. That's something that you were wrong about, you know? And that's just what happens when you're putting something that you record and for the masses to listen to. People are wrong. If he felt like he was wrong, then shouts out to him. I think Big Pimpin' is a great song, and I listened to it multiple times. You know what I mean? But like, if that's what he feels about his song, then he has a right to feel that way.
Listen, I personally, as a huge Jay-Z stan, I'm not even a fan. I'm a stan of Jay-Z. I have no problem saying that. Raised off his music. Huge fan of this song. Remember when Big Pimpin' came out? I remember what grade I was in. I remember the conversations we would have in school about this song, right? Pertaining to the lyrics. after seeing this, because it was something that was trending on the timeline, I did go back and listen to the song again and read the lyrics, and I totally understand this now that he's a man with children. He's a 50-year-old man with children versus when he made this song and he was like 20 something. There's not the way there's been a criticism of a Future in the terms of saying he's the messiah of misogyny. This song was probably the predicator to what we would get from someone like a Future down the line. This song it's purely misogynistic, right? But at the same time, at the time it was a great song, and hey, you have every right to go back and listen to your music and not be as big of a fan. I mean, we all as fans may not feel the same way, but hey, I'm not going to say too much more. We could talk more about this when we get done recording.
Shouts out to UGK, RP Pimp C.
Yo, for real, man. Like, shouts out to him.
Yeah, definitely.
UGK, for real. Legends.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Very curious to see if knowing songs like this, because more likely it's probably this now that his daughter Blue Ivy's probably like maybe 10 or something like that almost.
You can just go back and use that as an example of like, hey, like when I was younger, I was like that. You know what I mean? And some dudes are like that, you know, and that's just what it is. And you should avoid those dudes because they're, you know, doing dumb shit.
Yeah, they could become billionaires one day. So, you know.
Or that, you know what I mean? It's like 50-50. Like, it's like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah, can't hate while you're outside the club, man.
Yo, somebody just said that to me earlier today. That's crazy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like it's kind of weird you say that.
Damn, what, you was hating on someone earlier?
Nah, that's a off topic, off mic. We'll talk about that when we're done recording.
Let's take this conversation offline.
Do we have anything else for the listeners?
I think there may be one thing.
I feel like we forgot something.
Well, I wanted to say, like, hey, we kind of hit on it a little bit earlier in the podcast, but yeah, Dogecoin hit its highest. It hit over 70 cents. Elon Musk announces it's going to be currency for his SpaceX program or whatever you want to call it. I think that's dope for everybody who's been in the Dogecoin game. Continue to hold on. I know it like kind of crashed and it went a little low because he said, hey, yeah, it's kind of like a hustle. Don't be discouraged by that. That doesn't mean like the Dogecoin is now going to fold over and croak. Nah, it's the stock market game. Remember Bitcoin? Motherfuckers was saying, hey, this ain't shit. You wasted your money. Yeah. Now motherfuckers sitting there rich as shit off of Bitcoin. They probably didn't even work a job, just put money in the Bitcoin. Now they rich. So don't get discouraged. Shout out to everybody. Get into Dogecoin. Hold on to it. Believe in that motherfucker, because you never know. You might be the next motherfucking Jeff Bezos. Maybe not, but just have some hope.
And that's not financial advice.
It's not financial advice. You shouldn't come to us for your personal financial advice, because if you do, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, like for real. Like we are regular everyday people, even though we are the tag team champions. The consensus, the general consensus, and the measuring stick.
No,
he's about to fall asleep.
No. We have a new tag team name.
Oh, okay. What's up?
Oh. No, we have a new tag team name. We are now called the Divine Right. So that's our new tag team name, the Divine Right, because we are royalty. We are the keys that hand out the keys to the cities. So there we go. That's who we are. So do you guys have any last words before I give my last word before we close the show out?
Shouts out to the rapper Mike. He put out a song about a month ago called Evil Eye. I don't think the song is necessarily for everybody, but I like it, and I think that shit's dope.
Boom.
From Cypher Click?
His name? No, not that Mike. Another Mike. Literally named Mike. Mike. Mike.
And capital letters, right?
Yeah, it kind of raps like I don't want to put that on, but it's a good song.
Yeah, shout outs to Mike then. I haven't heard it. I'll check it out. You guys send it to me and I'll check it out.
If nothing else, you like the beat.
Sometimes that's all you need.
Shouts out to my homeboy Gilroy, his motherfucking ass, and I. We did our own little project, and Guitar and Bars. It's out. You know, the motherfuckers all over YouTube. It's on Spotify. It's about to be on Apple Music soon. So yeah, just check us out. It's just a couple of young black brothers just trying to have fun, and we're taking this shit to the moon like it's Dogecoin. And the last thing I want to say before the show is over is I want to give a special shout out to my OG, one of my OGs, one of my mentors, Sergeant. You ain't no motherfucking Sergeant. Sergeant.
Okay.
Yeah, you got that.
Parker.
Okay.
Sergeant Parker. You know what I mean? Me and Najo, we've been fucking with you the long way.
A lot of help.
Yes, sir. You really, you helped us. You changed our lives. So I want to actually shout out what he had going on, and it's called his First State Flagging LLC.
Okay.
Yeah, he got his own business.
Okay.
So I wanted to, shout out somebody who paved the way for me. So I want to, give back. Him and his cousin, Mr. Patrick Boehner, just met the gentleman the other day. Cool guy. Him and Sarah Parker, man, they got that business going. First State Flagging. Make sure y'all hit him up. He's going to treat you right. He's going to treat you good. And if I hear anything bad, we're going to come break your neck, and that's just the strength off the game. We come in and break your neck. So I wanted to shout the OG out, that's it. What do you guys got left?
Go ahead, Spence.
Well, I was just going to say, don't believe everything you read on your timeline. Yeah, that's really it. To the listeners, probably by the time this comes out, this
wow,
story.
That's super cryptic.
Yeah. Like, what are we about to see? My God.
Nah, it has nothing to do with me. I'm just saying.
Well, what is it?
It's something involving Pooh Shiesty. I'm not putting.
Is it that bad?
Apparently they.
All right, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. If it's all like that, we'll talk.
I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah. Listeners, I don't really have much to say. Thank you for being here. Thank you for leaving the comments. We try to respond to all the comments. We truly do appreciate it. It's damn.
That's what they're rumoring. So.
We appreciate the comments. Damn. We think that definitely keep on communicating with us and tell us what you think of the show. We are here for y'all. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Y'all can follow us at the Highly Advised Podcast on Instagram. Y'all can follow us at the Advised Highly on Twitter. You can follow us at the Highly Advised Podcast here on YouTube. Shouts out to the YouTube listenership. Shouts out to Joe Budden. Shouts out to the UFC. Shouts out to, a lot of people. And, shouts out to whoever you're about to say.
No, I was going to ask, did you guys watch the Adam 22 interview?
With
Joe Budden?
Nah. I was watching some Kevin Samuels and Umar Johnson, though.
Yeah, I was watching the two goats. Shit, the way they're going, it seems like we might get Ali and Frazier 4.
Yo,
that's
man.
A fact.
Yeah, the way they talk, that's shouts out to both of them. I'll put it like that.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Umar. Shout outs to the $920 book that you have to pay $3.99 for shipping and handling for on certain websites.
Yeah.
On certain websites, you can order a book for $920
with $3 shipping. Like,
you still got to pay tax. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that too. That's fucking insane.
All right, listeners.
If you like what you've heard, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and follow us on YouTube. If you like what you've heard,
you have been highly advised. We will see you next time. Respect. We will talk to you.
Shasha, you've been highly advised.